Meanwhile, tonight, Syria is back in the news with more reports of U.S. and Russian troops being at odds and certainly on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to this war in Syria. Now, Turkey is stepping into the fray, and they're doing so in dramatic fashion with what is being described as an invasion. An invasion of Syria. That's the headline all over the world. What is Turkey doing, and why are they doing it? We have full coverage on this story. We're going to begin with NRS correspondent Michelle Greenstein.
On Sunday, Turkey moved a large military convoy with over 50 armored vehicles into the area around northern Syria's Idlib province. Then, overnight, the Syrian government attacked these Turkish positions with artillery fire, killing 6 soldiers and wounding 9. In response, Turkey's F-16 fighter jets carried out strikes against the Syrian military, with Turkish President Erdogan claiming the strikes hit 46 targets, and Turkish Defense Minister Akar saying that 76 Syrian troops had been killed. Direct clashes between Turkey and Syria are rare, and this is likely to increase tensions between the two countries. On the other hand, this may be good news for the U.S. and its allies, who've been worried about losing Turkey as a strategic partner to Russia and Syria. For years, Turkey was an ally of Washington in the so-called War on Terror, with Turkey spending billions with Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, and the U.S. to fund and arm groups to overthrow the Syrian government. But in recent years, that relationship has come under strain. In October of 2019, the Turkish military began invading northern Syria, and earlier in the year, Turkey started buying Russia's S-400 missile defense system, signaling a shifting alliance from Washington to Moscow. U.S. policymakers seem to be increasingly focused on punishing Turkey for these kinds of decisions, with threats of sanctions and even calling for Turkey's suspension from NATO. But the latest move by Turkey to send troops into Idlib, the only opposition stronghold left in the country, is an apparent attempt to hinder the Syrian army's campaign to take back control of its land, meaning that Turkey hasn't totally shifted away from acting in coordination with the interests of the U.S. and its allies. For the news with Rick Sanchez, Michelle Greenstein, RT.
This is really a fascinating and very important development. Michael Maloof joins us now to talk about this. What the idea as it's being presented, right, in officialese and in journalistic scribes, are Turkey has chosen to invade and is now at war with the government of Assad.
It's totally untrue. The Turks have been there for quite some time. They not only have the safe zone up north, but in Idlib, they've had outposts for quite some time. Now, the problem is they support a lot of the jihadi Salafists that Syria says are their enemy, are the terrorists, and they're going after them. There seems to have been just a miscue on communication, but the Turks have been there by agreement among Syria, Russia, and Turkey.
But look how this looks, right? I mean, here you have Russia, right, who is supporting the government of Assad,
right?
And tonight, at least, tonight, you have Turkey's troops attacking Assad's troops.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of weird.
It's going to probably be over very, very shortly because you're going to have intervention by Moscow on this. It's not.
What kind of intervention?
Well, get them to stand down, and it's important to note that when Erdogan announced all this, he didn't use it. He didn't use his usual vitriolic rhetoric, and he was very low key in comparison to other times.
No bravado, huh?
No, zero. And the reason for that is Turkey has too much at stake in its relationship with Russia, and it just and we're seeing this in a myriad of ways, and Turkey is there because of agreement by Russia to set up not only the safe zone but to bring in, along with Syria, those outposts that they were supplying.
So but still, I come back to the same question. How can they be in cahoots with Russia when they're now fighting against the side that Russia is defending?
It's going to, because they don't like, Turkey does not like what's going on in Idlib. They think it's going to be a disaster, and what they're concerned about is that by attacking, it's going to bring in more refugees into Turkey, and they can't handle it.
Let me ask the question a different way then. Is it possible that Turkey is now siding with the United States and trying to do their dirty work?
No.
Absolutely not. No. So, but you're conceding it looks like that, but you're saying it's kind of a temporary thing, and the media and the Western diplomacy folks are jumping on this and trying to make it look that way.
Oh yeah, because what's happened is that Turkey has too much at stake with Russia right now. They're not going to break with Russia. And this was also notable in the fact that Russia backed Turkey in going into Libya. Russia has no major interest in Libya, but it sided with the Turks because the Turks, Russia wants to keep Turkey on its side to maintain that split in NATO.
Michael Maloof saying that this is going to be something temporary, it will not have lasting effects, or as we like to say, it will not have legs.
Correct.
All right.
We'll see.
We'll see.